Sorry, NASA. You weren't the reason Brainchip went into a trading halt. Well, maybe you're a small reason, but you weren't the reason. So I was a little bit too early. It's my third Brainchip episode in a row, 3 days in a row. And I jumped on the NASA announcement really early because I actually did a night shift and I wanted to do a video in regards to the announcement before I went to work. And lo and behold, just before I went to work, another announcement was dropped from Brainchip, and that was the announcement. So let's get into this episode and talk about the two announcements, and in particular, the announcement. The reason Brainchip went into a trading halt. Now, even though that was the Renesas deal was the reason they went into a trading halt, I think this agreement or this deal with NASA, so NASA places order under a Akita Early Access Program, is a significant announcement because just having a direct relationship with NASA, one of the most highly thought of organizations in the world, everyone knows who NASA is, can only be a good thing. So I'm excited about this announcement in itself, but it didn't really screen material customer contract. So I was a little bit confused why they went into a trading halt in regards to a material customer contract if it was this. So when they released the announcement, the next announcement at 6:52, this one made sense. So it was Brainchip signs first Akita IP license agreement with Renesas Electronics America, which is a subsidiary of Renesas Electronics Corp, which is a Japanese company. So hands up, who's heard of Renesas Electronics America or Renesas Electronics Corp? Well, I have, simply because I do know they are involved in autonomous vehicles. So that's probably the only reason, but they are a very large semiconductor business, and one of the largest in the world. So I don't have a quick read of that because on the next slide I will get further into the agreement, the unconditional agreement. So here it is. So it's an unconditional agreement. Few things I like about this. Now, it's in regards to Renesas's system on chip, SoC. Now, I'll get into what system on a chip is. I suppose I'll do it now. So system on chip is just a chip that integrates all the components of an electronic circuit. So you find them a lot in smartphones, I think tablets, Internet of Things, and routers, that sort of thing, and even some other things as we'll get into soon. Now, there are a few things about this agreement I do like. So the fact is it's based off royalties, so volume of units sold, and it's for the life of the product. So if this product that Renesas is doing is a very successful product, there is potential for quite high royalties. Now, we don't know the financial specifics of the royalties or the agreement, and they'll never release that, I think, because that's going to be confidential, and I think Brainchip would want to keep that secret just because competitors, they don't want competitors of Brainchip to have knowledge of the sort of royalties they are getting because they can undercut that. I've seen this happen with other businesses who release information on royalties or release information on margins, and then their competitors undercut that when they find out that information. But royalties can be hit and miss. So about 8 years ago now, I think it was 8 years ago, something like that, OBJ had an agreement with Procter & Gamble. So OBJ is a very small ASX company, and Procter & Gamble, I think most people have heard of Procter & Gamble. Now, when it came to light, this agreement, this royalty agreement, market really liked it because, wow, agreement between a very small ASX company and Procter & Gamble. But as it turned out, everything was in the favor of Procter & Gamble and nothing was in the favor of OBJ. And in fact, they're not called OBJ anymore. They've had to change their name to Wellness Group or something, and they didn't get much out of that agreement. So I always a little bit hesitant when I see royalties, but typically royalties are really good for a business like Brainchip. So we have to wait and see the sort of financial windfall for Brainchip in the next, well, I'm not sure how long it's going to take, but we're going to have to see that in Appendix 4C when they release that. They release the next one, but you won't see any financial details in that. So it's going to be a few years, I think, before we see some financial details. So this agreement gives Renesas the right to use Akita IP in Renesas's system on chip products. So I'll get into that in a second. And the other thing I really like about this is Brainchip will get some maintenance service fees after 2 years. So that's an added income stream they'll get. So any sort of way you get income streams is going to be beneficial. So a couple of things I really like about this announcement just there. So the next question I had, even though I knew a little bit at Renesas, who are Renesas? So they are a Japanese semiconductor manufacturer. If you want to know where the name came from, I've just got it there. Have a look at their actual full name of the company, and you can see how they got their name. Now, the history of Renesas is not a complicated history, but it involves quite a few very well-known companies. So, NSC Electronics, which was a semiconductor spin-off of NEC. And then there was another company called Renesas Technology Corporation, which was a joint venture of Hitachi and Mitsubishi Electronics. So I think most people would have heard of Hitachi, NEC, and Mitsubishi Electronics. So those are fairly world-renowned companies. Now, NEC Electronics and Renesas Technology joined or merged in 2010, and then they became Renesas. And then Renesas acquired Integrated Device Technology, IDT, for $6.7 billion in 2019. And then IDT became, or changed the name to Renesas Electronics America, and that's who Brainchip have their agreement with. But the question is, what is Renesas's system on chip? So this is Renesas' website. So I went to their website and I was just looking around, and the first thing I did was go to their products. And if you go through their products, you can see they have a lot of information, a lot of products here. But I did notice on the left-hand side under automotive products, they do have system on chips, SoCs. So naturally, I had to click on that because that was very relevant to Brainchip's agreement with Renesas. And then it goes straight to automotive system on chips. And one of the first things they mention is autonomous vehicles. So I do know Renesas is involved with autonomous vehicles. So there is a possibility that Brainchip's agreement with Renesas has to do with autonomous vehicles. So that's very exciting for me because I'm highly bullish on the future of autonomous vehicles moving forward. I think it's almost inevitable that we'll have autonomous vehicles everywhere. No one will own cars, that sort of thing. So I think even governments are going to be very bullish on the future of autonomous vehicles. So it's very exciting that there is that potential that this deal has to do with autonomous vehicles. I could be completely wrong. So I'm going to read up more on this in the future over the next few weeks. A lot of downtime with a lot of public holidays. I'm still working through those public holidays. So a lot of downtime, a lot of time to read, research Renesas, see if this could be what the announcement is about. So how did the market react? Well, you don't have to be a genius to think or to know that the market was going to react very positively, especially on the open of trading today. So I didn't really take notice to where it opened. So it opened in the 40s, 47 or so. I think it was 46. Went as high as about 51 cents. And of course, when it opens at its stark increase to the previous day or previous trading day's close, there's going to be some profit takers, always going to be some profit takers taking their profits, and so you're going to see a bit of selling. So I never, in these sort of situations, I never buy in the first 30 minutes because you never know what sort of buying and selling, profit taking is going to be going on. But the really interesting thing is, after about an hour or so, we just saw the share price just flatline, so consolidate along about 42, 43 cents. In fact, that's very bullish. There was no profit taking from about 11 a.m. on to the close of trading at about 2:30 p.m. Now, that could be because there weren't many people trading today. Could be because day traders had left the office or left their home office and had completed their trading. Maybe they're doing some last minute shopping. Who knows? I think we'll have a better indication on the next trading day, which is the 28th of December, I believe, next Tuesday. I think that's the next trading day because I think Monday is a public holiday, Boxing Day public holiday. Anyway, so I'm going to be looking very interestingly at how the trading, how Brainchip trades on Tuesday. So very bullish, the trading today. It closed up 30%. There wasn't a lot of selling in the last few hours, which means those who would have sold out probably have sold out, those profit takers. So very interested to see what happens. I might even take a position if I like what happens in the next few trading days. So that's all I've got on Brainchip and this announcement in regards to Renesas. So very exciting announcement, particularly if it's in regards to what I think it might be. Now, it's just a hunch, it's just a wild guess based off a few clicks I did on the Renesas website. So anyway, that's all for today. If you have any questions, if you think I am stupid and I'm completely wrong in regards to autonomous vehicles, leave a comment, because I want to be known. I want someone to tell me that I'm wrong. So I don't want to, go through life, being ignorant. But anyway, again, I'm not a financial advisor. So if you do need some financial advice in regards to Brainchip, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own circumstances. So that's all for today's video. Hope you've enjoyed my third Brainchip video in a row. Have a good day and Merry Christmas. In fact, I will do a video on Christmas Day. And, I'll release a video on Christmas Day. I am actually working a 12-hour shift on Christmas Day, so I can let one of my colleagues spend time with his family. So, aren't I a nice person? But, I do get a lot of money out of it. Anyway, that's all for today. Have a good day. Bye. See ya.